Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Gattaca, and this movie is directed by Andrew Niccol and came out in 1997, and I thought this movie was really great. The performances were really great. I loved Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman, and Jude Law. I think they're all really great in the movie, and their characters were interesting. I really liked the world that this movie is set in, and it's in the not too distant future, a phrase that I haven't heard in a long time. How this world works is basically a DNA test. It's like your DNA identifies your health and your likelihood of murdering somebody and a whole bunch of other things. It predetermines everything about you. And it's kind of like a discrimination between those who are going to be really successful in life and those who are not. And I like a lot about this movie and what it sets up. And our main character, he kind of manipulates the system and tries to prove that he can do anything. And the reason he decides to do this is because he has a younger brother who he once beats in a swimming contest, and the contest is basically that the older brother will never beat the younger brother because the younger one is determined or predetermined to be more successful. He will always beat the older brother, but he beats him and goes off to do other things, and he also disguises himself to be someone else as Jude Law's character, because Jude Law is in a wheelchair, he can't do anything, and Ethan Hawke is just pretending to be him and getting all the success that he really wants. And now we have our movie. And what I really love about this movie is the tension in every scene, and you're just wondering, how are you going to get out of this situation? There's basically no way that you can escape, and just when you think there's no way of him getting out, he comes up with the one idea that can get him out of this situation, and it's like he just managed to get out of that. It was like, that was close. And there's plenty of scenes like that throughout the movie, especially in the second act and when the plot starts to go, because someone gets murdered and we don't know who, and the way everyone is looking at this is that we have someone who's invalid to be working here because according to their DNA, they're an invalid person, and the way the system works is you're either valid or not valid or invalid or whatever, and you're a lesser person, and that's how everything works here. And they keep trying to hunt down who is the invalid person. And it's really interesting how this movie is presented, and it's pretty much a cat and mouse game throughout most of the movie. And this movie isn't so far out there, even though this movie takes place in the future, it's not so far out there where it really relies on CGI. This movie takes place in a very minimal amount of locations, and when they do show different locations in this movie, it's very minimal. And I like that about the movie, and it makes it feel smaller scale, there's only so many places you can hide, and so many ways you can do all this. I really enjoyed the relationship between all of the characters. I thought that was a really strong element of the movie, and that's really what kept me engaged throughout the movie, is that not only was the story interesting, but the characters were likable, and you understand who they are and what they want, and you do feel as though they actually get along with each other. They're not just treating each other like robots, and that was an element that I liked. The movie kind of reminded me of Minority Report. I know this movie came before it, so I'm not going to take off points for it, but this movie is definitely much better than Minority Report, in my opinion. It pretty much takes all the elements that I saw in Minority Report and just does them really well, and instead of using CGI, they use actual physical sets, and everything's practical, and like there's a lot of effort put in. Like Jude Law, he's in a wheelchair because he's paralyzed from the waist down, and he can't move his legs, and you feel that, and you really do. And there's a scene in this movie, and there is a scene in this movie. Sorry for making this kind of a mess. Where he has to climb up the stairs because there's urgency going on, and you do feel as though like he's putting in a lot of effort to climb up these stairs. And that's about all I have to say about Gattaca. It has a really great concept, and everything feels real. The story is interesting. The characters are like, they're likable people, and I liked the relationship between the characters, and I liked how the movie was shot. It wasn't just shot reverse shot throughout the whole movie. And the only things that it didn't work for me was like one sequence towards the end of the movie where I couldn't really tell which character was who. And there's a couple of scenes in this movie that are a little confusing as to like what happened, in my opinion. Like how something was pulled off, and there's like one giant plot hole in this whole movie that I'm not going to say, because once you know it kind of ruins the whole movie, but it didn't bother me while I was watching the movie. I'm just saying that it exists. That's all I can say about it. And go check this movie out. I think it's really great. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Gattaca a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Gattaca, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Mandy. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.